When people talk about handguns, you tend to get names like Glock 17, SIG P320, Smith & Wesson M&P, and the likes, but what about the ones that don't dominate the conversation? There are some seriously underrated pistols out there, guns that shoot like a dream, handle recoil beautifully, and offer something unique, yet somehow they never get the hype that they truly deserve. Maybe they were overshadowed by bigger releases, maybe they weren't marketed aggressively, or maybe people just never gave them a real chance. Whatever the reason, these hidden gems deserve a closer look. From refined classics, a futuristic design ahead of its time, and a no-nonsense carry gun that just works, these 7 underrated handguns prove that popularity isn't everything. If you're looking for something different that might surprise you at the range or in a self-defense scenario, these are the pistols that should be on your radar, but they sadly don't get any hypes. In a world dominated by polymer-framed semi-autos, revolvers often take a back seat. Yet the Charter Arms Off-Duty is a compact wheel gun that deserves more attention. It's lightweight, snack-free, and built specifically for concealed carry. This isn't a gun that's meant to sit in a safe. It's meant to be carried, whether in a pocket, ankle holster, or tucked away for backup. The double-action trigger is smooth, and the recoil is manageable despite its small size. It's not fancy, but it's reliable, and sometimes that's all you need in a carry gun. Revolvers don't get the love they used to, but the Off-Duty is one of those rare snub-nosed revolvers that actually makes sense for concealed carry. It's hammerless, so there's nothing to snag on when drawing from a pocket or holster. It's also ridiculously light, which makes it easy to carry all day. And of course, being this light means you're gonna feel it when you pull the trigger, but if you're carrying this, it's not for fun range sessions, it's for close quarters get off me situations, and in that role, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's not a range toy, it's a tool, a reliable 5-shot and last resort kind of tool. The 1911 market is crowded, but Springfield Armory's Ronin deserves more recognition than it gets. It's got that classic 1911 charm, but with modern enhancements that make it a joy to shoot. It looks stunning with blued slide, stainless frame, and those wood grips that just scream old school cool. But it's not just about looks, you see. It delivers a smooth shooting experience with that crisp single action trigger that 1911 fans love. The weight helps absorb recoil, making it comfortable to shoot even in 45 ACP. It's one of those guns that reminds you why people still love the 1911 platform even after all these years. If you're looking for a high-quality 1911 without breaking into the ultra-premium price range, the Ronin is a steal. The Ronin isn't trying to be fancy, as it isn't dressed up with unnecessary extras. It's a straight shooting, no-nonsense 1911 that does exactly what you wanted to do. It runs reliably and feels like a piece of history in your hand. However, some variants of the gun have been discontinued. Mossberg isn't exactly the first name that comes to mind when you think about handguns, but the MC2SC is one of those subcompact carry guns that just works. It's slim, lightweight, and fits into the micro-compact category with the likes of the P365 and Hellcat, but somehow it doesn't get nearly as much attention. Mossberg isn't new to making guns, but their handguns tend to get overshadowed by their legendary shotguns. The MC2SC is one of those guns you don't expect much from until you shoot it. Then, suddenly, it's making you question why it doesn't get mentioned in the same breath as the P365 and Hellcat. The grip texture is perfect, not too aggressive, but just enough to lock in when you need it. The trigger is surprisingly crisp for a gun in this class, and it handles recoil better than you'd expect from something this size. The MC2SC is one of those guns you might overlook in the gun store, but once you put a few rounds through it, you start to wonder why it doesn't get talked about more. The Daniel H9 was ahead of its time, and that might be why it never got the mainstream love it deserved. Imagine taking the best parts of the 1911, the grip angle, the trigger feel, but giving it the functionality of a modern striker-fired pistol. That's the Daniel H9 for you. The low bore axis on this gun makes it ridiculously easy to control, keeping muzzle rise to a minimum so you can stay on target shot after shot. It feels like something that was designed by someone who truly understands how a gun should perform under pressure. Those who have gotten their hands on an H9 know that it's one of the most interesting pistols to hit the market in the last decade. People who shoot this thing for the first time always do feel different, but instead of in a bad way, it's more like in the sense of, why doesn't every gun feel like this kind of way? If this pistol had better marketing and a bigger company behind it, it would have been a game changer. Browning's High Power is one of the most beloved pistols ever made, but the F in High Power is its modernized cousin that seems to get overshadowed by both the original and clones from other brands. That's a real shame because Effin took everything great about the original and made it better without ruining what made it special. The new version maintains that distinct high power look, but brings modern ergonomics and an improved trigger that doesn't suffer from the original's notorious heavy pull. It's also built with today's shooters in mind. Better sights, better capacity, and a more intuitive design overall. It's one of those guns that doesn't just look good, it shoots even better than it looks. If you're into timeless designs with modern performance, this one's a sleeper hit. It takes everything people love about Browning's original design and gives it the reliability and feel of a modern combat pistol. The Beretta M9 is one of those legendary guns that defined an era, but the M9A1 takes the legacy and refines it just enough to make it stand out. While everyone's talking about the M9 or the newer M9A3, the A1 sits in this weird middle ground where it doesn't get the credit that it deserves. It still has that buttery smooth slide, the kind of action that makes you want to rack it over and over just for the feel of it. The all-metal construction gives it some weight, but that weight translates into a softer recoil and a rock-solid shooting experience. The grip texture is just aggressive enough to keep it locked in place without feeling like sandpaper. The M9A1 is a duty gun at heart, but there's something about taking it to the range and hearing that slight cycle that just hits differently. To be a little practical, you know that satisfying ka-chunk sound you get when racking the slide on a well-built metal gun? The M9A1 has that in spades. There's something about this gun that just exudes old-school craftsmanship. The action is smooth, the trigger breaks clean, and when that hammer drops, you know you're firing a piece of history. Glock fans and haters alike have debated the 19X since it first dropped. Built for the US Army's modular handgun competition, but ultimately losing out, this crossover pistol combines the full-size grip of a Glock 17 with the shorter slide of a Glock 19. At first glance, it doesn't seem like much, just another Glock, but spend some time with it and you'll start to see the genius. It's got that Glock reliability that's hard to beat, but it also just feels better in the hand than a standard 19. The added grip real estate makes it easier to control under rapid fire, and the balance between slide and frame is just right. Whether you're carrying it for duty, home defense, or just range time, the 19X delivers a shooting experience that's smoother than people giving it credit for. It's also got that coyote tan finish, which, let's be honest, just looks good. Some people say the 19X is just a mashup that nobody asked for, but those who've actually put rounds through one know the truth. There's something about the way it sits in your hand that makes rapid follow-up shots feel effortless. It absorbs recoil like a full-sized gun, but carries like a compact. Now here's one more underrated powerhouse before we check out. Kimber's 1911s get a lot of love, but the Rapide Black Ice somehow doesn't make it into enough conversations. Maybe it's because people assume it's just another fancy-looking 1911, but this thing isn't just about aesthetics, it performs. The slight cuts reduce weight, making it cycle faster and feel more responsive. The trigger is one of the cleanest you'll find on a production 1911, with a break that makes you want to keep squeezing just to feel it again. It's got aggressive grip texturing that keeps it locked in even under rapid fire. It's one of those guns that, when you shoot it, make you wonder why it doesn't get the same hype as other high-end 1911s. Flashy 1911, but the rapide black eyes isn't just about looks, it's got the performance to back it up. If you want a 1911 that looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie but shoots like a competition gun, this is it. Although the production of the Kimber Rapide Black Eyes seems to be on some kind of hold, you can still find it available at some retailers or used. Well guys, I believe we were able to do justice to our list of the 7 most underrated handguns no one talks about. So which of these do you also think needs to be spotlighted? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, as we'd love to hear what you think. If you found this video helpful or just interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more gun-related content. Keep your notification bell turned on to stay informed on all things guns and firearms. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll check you guys later.